eso. I'm sexy, so dame un beso.
Big Lego, don't let go. Them bubbling booties is special. Fela, favela, the tempo. Ogun and Blue Moon, your mentor. Big Lego, don't let go. Shaka will rock instrumental. Got colors like Basquiat fresh, yo.
Welcome back to another episode of Austin Creates. Today I sat down with hip-hop duo Kidada and Chaka, two halves of Riders Against the Storm. These multi-talented individuals create in comedy, hip-hop, fashion, poetry, and today we talked about the influence of comedy on hip-hop, the Austin hip-hop scene, and of course, the library. This is our conversation. How did your comedy experience shape you musically? What did you take from honing that craft into your music?
Yeah, I think just to take it a little bit back, I mean, that was some of the work that we were doing. But obviously, anyone who's in a hip-hop genre of things listened to Richard Pryor growing up. You know what I mean? I heard, I think it was Paul Mooney, PBS documentary of Richard Pryor, saying that if it wasn't for Richard Pryor, hip-hop wouldn't have had the licenses that it had. He was the one that said you could say that. He was the one to come out and be like, I'm going to say the N-word on TV. I'm going to tell people I'm from the gutter, and I'm going to act like I'm from the gutter. I'm going to show people what the gutter looks like. I'm going to show America what it created. And he really allowed hip-hop to do that. So that's, comedy in that sense, throwing jabs for sure is part of hip-hop music. And comedy and hip-hop have those things in common. And the fact that they alleviate the jab with some sort of medium like laughter or music is also a common part of the formula. So it was natural for us.
I think there's also like a feeling of like not giving a you know what I'm saying? Right. That is prevalent as well. Like, you're just tired of the BS and you're just trying to free up.
I recognize this is like a big question, but just curious what you guys' thoughts are on it. But why does hip-hop in Austin continue to... It feels like the little brother of the music scene here. Why is that? Why does hip-hop in Austin continue to kind of flounder?
I mean, first of all, like, as much as Austin gets its propers for being a quote-unquote live music capital, there's no infrastructure here for music. Like, anybody that's made it from Shaky Grace to Gary Clark to anybody has had to leave here to make it. You can be in LA or you can be in Nashville or New York, and you can stay there and you can get national attention. That just doesn't happen really that often here. It does happen for the genres that are historically recognized here. The Gary Clarks and those types. Hip-hop is not historically recognized here. And so it's definitely a sub-genre or it's just sub. Regardless, there are artists that are going to come out of here and are going to do well. Hip-hop's here, man. Yeah. Hip-hop's here. And like, I think a lot of people it's kind of like self-fulfilling. It's like people are like, black people are leaving Austin. I feel like, the more you talk about that, the more it happens. You know what I mean? And I think there are certain forces that want to see that happen, faster. So they tell the story more and more and more and more. So people just start, if you're a black person and you're looking to move to Austin, you're like, well, all the black people are leaving, so I'm not going to even think about moving there. I think it's a similar thing for hip-hop. Everybody says, oh, well, why is hip-hop not recognized? Hip-hop is recognized. I mean, we won Band of the Year the last 3 years in Austin, Texas. That hadn't happened. Hip-hop band had never won Band of the Year here in 32 years. We're starting to get national recognition. So it's happening. It's just taking a little bit more time than other genres because it hasn't been that much recognized here.
Yeah, you talked about just musically the power of history, right? Like those scenes of the blues rock and those things, even though Austin doesn't have the infrastructure here for any genre, like you're saying, those scenes know to come look at Austin, right? And for hip-hop, it's just not part of their routine or their habit to come look here.
Right, because there's no hip-hop club
Yeah.
There's no hip hop venue where it's like you can go. It's like if you go to Antone's, what you're gonna get. If you go to Continental Club, what you're gonna get. If you go to Mohawk, it's gonna be pretty much punk or rock or whatever. There's no real spot where it's like 2 or 3 nights out of the week, I'm gonna be able to go to see a dope, or even one night out of the week, I'm gonna be able to go see a dope hip hop show, like on the regular. You know, those things count, man. Those things count. That infrastructure investment counts.
What are the traits or qualities that you respect in other hip hop artists' music?
For me, like my favorite hip hop songs like tell a story, or I mean, even like it's funny, we were talking about recently, like I feel like Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, that's a good song. Like I used to clown it kind of as a kid, or it was kind of like a jokey type of thing. But if you listen to it, not only like was it just a well-written song which stayed on theme and really like made some interesting points about body image and black women's body image and being proud of your shape and your form. It was prophetic, man, because look at everything now. He's like, you know, he had the white girls, look at her butt, oh my God, you know. But now they all want that. You know what I mean? So like, you know, story, I guess like a little bit of like, you know, just I don't know. I like the stuff that's epic and seems to be forever. Like one of my favorite songs is definitely P Rock and CL Smooth, They Reminisce Over You. Like every time I hear that song, I just like something in me just melts and I go back to when I first heard it. You know, Nas. I like storytellers. I like stories.
For me, I guess it's energy. I like an artist that can really keep me engaged, keep me excited. You know, I think one of my favorite artists is Busta Rhymes, because he's just like so incredibly creative, and he's just so willing to say, I haven't heard anyone since or prior ever put walrus in a rhyme, and not be corny, you know what I mean? Because that's just part of his persona. Like I'm free, I'm hyper creative. Like his videos were always incredibly creative. You know, like I just love that out the box energy. Like anyone that brings that kind of thing. And of course, I just generally like, you know, anyone who has who knows music. You know what I mean? Like it's very easy for a hip hop artist to kind of think it's just about lyricism. But hip-hop artists who understand the musicality of a thing, the musicality of the cadence of my rhyme and how it plays with the beat and, you know what I mean, all of those things, like that is, you know, clever, being clever, yeah.
You guys expressed an enthusiasm for the library, and I appreciate that for sure. Why are you enthusiastic? I see a library card right there on the key ring.
Gotta have the library card, man. First of all, you can go and you can get music there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was my, like, I haven't done it in a while, but that was one of my secret little pleasures of just going, grabbing like 10 CDs and just listening to them. I know you can go on Spotify now and everything like that, but for me, it's like, I don't know, it's like the thrill of like the treasure hunt, the, you know, seeing what's there, just being surprised, like, oh, snap, like, I haven't seen this, or I haven't heard this. That's right, this album did come out, or you know what I mean? Or I like the quiet. I like the I don't know. To me, it's just, and I guess it's just the nerd in me or whatever. But it's like an ideal space where people respect, and people get respected, and they give respect. There's just a vibe and energy there where it just feels like community.
My first memory of the library was my mom, and my mom did something very special in the sense that she made my library card like getting new Nikes. You know what I'm saying? Like she hyped it up. She made a date. She's like, okay, we're going Wednesday. You know what I mean? We're going to go get your library card. Like, you're going to be able to do this when you get it. You're going to be able to do that when you get it. It's so much fun. You know what I mean? And my mom, you know, she made it because knowledge was her source of power. You know what I mean? She was a Caribbean woman, a black woman. She didn't have much money. So there were a lot of disempowering things. The one thing that she had that gave her a lot of power was knowledge, was information. And so she was like, if that is the one source of power I can give my children, I'm going to give them the power of knowledge. I'm going to give them the power of, like, somebody said this, that's cool, but do you know that you can go look it up and see if that's consistent? You know, you can go look it up and see if he even said the truth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. And she used to always emphasize, I don't care if it's your teacher, I don't care if it's your pastor, I don't care if it's, you can go and find information for yourself.
Something I just thought about listening to you was, it just kind of occurred to me, like, one of the things I love about books is it allows you to just dwell on an idea or a concept without that distraction, to really process it over a course of days or weeks or months or however long it takes you to read something.
The book Fahrenheit 451, speaking of libraries, if you haven't read it and you really value your library, read that book. It's a pretty critical one about, you know, some pseudo future, and books are being burned, and all you have now are slim volumes, like little pamphlets of information and big screens that project stories onto your house. You don't have books anymore. They're illegal. And that statement makes me think about those pamphlets. You know what I mean? Like, the depth of information is not, as you get more information, but the depth of it, you know, is not the culture. And I think the library is about the depth of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. For people who are interested in you guys, they want to check out your music, where can they go online? Give us the links.
All you got to remember is RAS Hip Hop, Ross Hip Hop, and that's pretty much our website, rosshiphop.com, RAS Hip Hop on Twitter and Instagram, SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/RAS Hip Hop.
What's coming next for you guys? What shows are next? What album?
This month we got we're doing a show at the Bullock Museum. What's it called? Yeah, so we're doing a show there. We're doing a show at the Float Fest, like in San Marcos. Bone Thugs is on. Bone Thugs Harmony's on that. Rick Ross is on that. Santi Gold's on that. Should be a good time. Then we got our Ross Day Festival that we do every year. It's our 3rd annual Ross Day Festival. We're bringing Sun Ra Orchestra, so we're proud to be doing a show with them. That's a group that people should know about, and I'm sure you have some of their albums at the library. If you don't know about Sun Ra Orchestra, check it out. He's a very influential avant-garde jazz musician that was way ahead of his time, and people are still like figuring him out. You know, still going back and learning from him. Yeah, and then we did the crowdfunding to propel our next music, our next art. So there will be an album soon. We're working on some singles right now. There's an artist named Mobley that we're collaborating with, and we got some songs with him that are going to be coming out soon. So just be on the lookout for that. And
you can find Riders Against the Storm at the library. So.
Oh yeah,
you can.
Yeah. That was cool, man. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was at the one on it's right over here off of airport.
Oak Springs. Yeah.
Yeah. I was over there just doing my little CD treasure hunt thing, and I found our CD in there. So that was really cool, man. Yeah, you can find us at the library, y'all.
That's all we have today. Thanks again, Chaka and Kidada, coming out, supporting the library, and we support you guys. So check them out, see their shows, buy their music. That's it. We'll talk to you later.